All right, response video to somebody I never watch unless somebody forces me to, because other people make response videos to him. It's, skanky douchebag, the pirate. And, yes, they've made semi-polite responses. He never deserves that. He is such an obnoxious piece of shit. It just amazes me that people deliberately go and watch this crap, this shithead, this moron. And who cares what he thinks? He's just so fucking stupid and obnoxious. But anyway, we'll play a stupid fucking obnoxious video. I'm gonna listen to 2 minutes of it, and I just said, no. I was thinking maybe he's just doing it to be controversial. And I said, no, I think he's really stupid enough to believe this shit he's spouting. Yeah.
Hey guys, what's up? I'm going to upload this video on my Warehouse 9 channel, which is my other channel, because I'm probably not going to edit it. I'm just going to ramble. But I want some feedback. I do. I want some video responses from people, and I think it would increase the likelihood of getting feedback from people if I upload it on the main channel, which has like 5 times more subscribers.
Yeah, way to waste everybody's time. That's what you want to do. You don't want feedback. You just want controversy. We can smell your shit from, like here. I can smell it from here, and you've got to be at least a few hundred miles away.
That's my other channel. And if you didn't know I had another channel, I posted a link to it down in the little box, so you can check me out there too. Okay, first before I get to the video, thanks for all the birthday wishes. You guys totally rock. Here's my boxers. Except for the guy who sent me the pubes. He didn't leave a return address or a name on that envelope, which is fine. It's cool. I'm just going to have to go find me a prostitute, kill her, rape her, not in that order, and then sprinkle your pubes.
Yeah, well, I guess you shouldn't have made a video about it, because now the jig will be up, right? Because now anytime they find sprinkled pubes on a dead prostitute, they might think, oh, Mannix must have done that, because he goes out and sprinkles pubes around.
And then when the police come up to you and arrest your face is going to be so red. And that's what you get. That's what you get for fucking mailing me a fucking Ziploc bag filled with your goddamn pubes. You son of a bitch. I hope you got herpes.
Yeah, there should be a lot of that hoping going on. Whatever.
I wanted to make a video about this for one con. I never really felt like it though, or I forgot, whatever.
I wanted, but I never felt like. Okay, right.
Talk to you guys about progressive taxes, because I don't think people really fully understand exactly how they work. Okay, so
I don't think you have a fucking clue. Right? State of New Jersey, the 3 highest sources of revenue are the lottery, cigarette taxes, and gambling. No progressive tax whatsoever anywhere to be found in the first 3 sources of revenue. The 4th source is sales tax, which is also not progressive.
Guy over here, all right, makes $100. Guy over here makes $1,000. Now, the way progressive taxes work is that they call it progressive taxes because they're essentially progressive from another form of tax. Now, for this example, we use a flat tax. Let's say the flat tax is 10%. 10% of your income goes to taxes, and that can be divided up between the state and federal government, Social Security and all that shit. But 10% of your income, taxes. And then we'll progress from there. So the guy who made $100 is paying $10 in taxes, and the guy who made $1,000 is paying $100. Now,
right, so just ignore all the other practical taxes that have to do directly with services. So all the cigarette taxes, for example, that yours are probably subsidized by the taxpayers, no doubt, being in the military. Yeah, so, and what's the real revenue impact? Where's the substance of revenue come from? Oh, that's right, Social Security taxes, taxes for health care insurance. Those are the big ones that come out of people's payroll. And where does the substance of the money go when you use the word welfare? It goes to people's reproductive choice.
The way progressive taxes will work is the government will look at the guy who made $100 and say, whoa, we can't take $10 from you. You can't make a shitload of money. That's not fair to you. You need as much of that as you possibly can in order to get by with the bare minimum. So instead of $10, we're only going to take like $2 from you, 2%. And then they look at the guy who made $1,000 and they say, whoa, dude, you made a shit ton of money. We're going to take a little bit more from you because you were more successful. So the guy
or you inherited it. So again, let's get back to the real equation. You're arguing that somehow there's been a race, and there's some people who got further in the race, and so they should get bigger trophies because they got further in the race or accomplished more in the task assigned. Now you know as a practical fact that the race is rigged, okay? That some people didn't move one fucking step from the place they were born into. They might even move backwards. That was their fucking accomplishment, to be a playboy and a drunkard, and you're saying they somehow earned it. Now they didn't earn it. It's a huge giant cheat. So fix that cheat. Worry about that first. That should be the first priority, is get the fix out of the game. And then you can start doing this finger-pointing crap that guy did better and we shouldn't punish him for doing better. Because that's not the real fucking world. You know it. This is all just propaganda bullshit. You're an elitist up the elitist ass. You're an elitist ass licker, period. Okay? You know it's a cheat and you're pretending it's not a cheat.
Supposed to pay $100 is now paying $250. Now, where does that money go? Well, a portion of those tax dollars...
Yeah, and you've also ignored that what's really taxed, okay? We tax workers progressively, but do we tax people who glean income from dividends, from assets they were born with, from debt assets, basically what are IOUs to the ownership of future industry? Do they pay a progressive tax on that income? No, they don't, asshole, do they? No, they don't. So this argument is an end. Bullshit. Do the mega wealthy pay progressively into the National Health Care Fund? Do they do that? No, they don't, asshole. They pay regressively. The richer they are, the less they fucking pay into those social services. Fuck you. You're an idiot.
They're mostly paid for by people who make more money because they can tax more. The way with progressive taxes, those tax dollars are going to go fund social programs like welfare, food stamps, and all that shit.
And Social Security and military pensions, and let's go on the list of all the shit that's going to be paid for. And again, that's out of this discretionary income tax budget. You're talking about one part of the budget, the income tax budget. All right, and if you want to make that paid for by the common man instead of the rich, the mega wealthy, all right, well then you're going to have to change your lifestyle dramatically, because guess what? If poor man has to pay the taxes to pay your salary, he's not going to do it, butthead. Okay, it just ain't going to fucking happen. You're not going to have a fucking job, jackass.
The guy who only made $100 and people like him, below the poverty line, are going to be able to take advantage of. This essentially, people, politicians, most liberal politicians.
This again is kind of stupid. So there's a bunch of people with lousy lives living in shitty neighborhoods, absolute horrors of a lifestyle, and you're going to fucking argue that somehow, hey, the other needs are all met, and they're just taking advantage. They're riding the, whatever they call that, the luxury train through life, and they're just sitting there drinking and eating and living it up on old Uncle Sucker. Well, that's a delusion. That doesn't have anything to do with reality. Yeah, you can find 5% of any population that, find some way to maximize something. But we know where most of the people fall, and we know most of them would gladly take a job in civilization somewhere and choose a decent life if they could acquire it, you fucking cunt.
Politicians who design these kinds of programs, their heart's in the right place. I'm not saying they're evil politicians who want to eat a baby. That's not what I'm saying.
But you are an evil scumbag who probably would eat a baby if it meant it would fill some kind of deprivation in you, because you're a selfish motherfucking cunt, a useless piece of shit, a scumbag of the most perfect order.
And I'm going to complain about this here in a sec, but what the politicians are doing is essentially penalizing the guy who made more money and taking his money and giving it to the guy who made very little money.
Well, the politicians aren't doing it. The people vote for those policies, and the obvious truth is that since 1980, they've been voting exactly the opposite. They've been voting just like you through your propaganda right up the old rich man's ass, right into Reaganomics, to voodoo economics, to preposterous debt economics, where now the vast majority of Americans now owe $50 trillion to a tiny percentage of the owners who basically inherited that ownership, and you call that rational economics. You're a fucking asshole. You're a cheater. You're a little weasel who somehow has calculated that cheating makes sense, and therefore you're all for it. You're endorsing and justifying, and there's probably another word for somebody to sell his soul to the devil for something. What would be the word for that? Well, you figure it out.
Make sure that he can get by with the bare minimum. Now, I have a problem with this for several reasons. Number one, people who don't make that much money and don't have to pay any taxes and end up benefiting from programs that are essentially being paid for by people who make more money.
Right, like the middle class, who for decades was subsidized. I mean, they had kids. Their kids were subsidized by people who didn't have kids. So there's lots of subsidies going on in the economy. But to argue that the ones who are the grand beneficiaries, the ones stealing the most, are somehow the poor slobs living in fucking shitville, you're an asshole.
Become dependent on these programs. And if all of your basic needs are essentially met through these programs and the very little money that you make, what incentive do you have at that point to make more money? You don't have any fucking incentive.
No, that's just bullshit. Like I said, I don't know, people are arguing that somehow you're going to say that you have lived through these experiences and somehow you were living on Easy Street in Shittonia and you didn't have any incentive to do better. I wonder why you got into the military then. But anyway, that's a whole other argument. The economics of this is pretty obvious too. The reason why the progressive taxation makes sense is because, yes, poor people's expenditures are more productive than the expenditures of the rich, and that's just a fact, socially productive. These poor people buy toilet paper. They put stamps on envelopes. Their expenditures almost exclusively go to productive infrastructure within the society, infrastructure that everybody uses, where the rich man's expenditures are completely unproductive. He takes valuable employment out of the economy, out of the functional economy we all use, and has them exclusively work for them, wiping their ass, polishing their marble, taking care of their whatever knickknacks on the shelves, their inanimate objects, their palaces in other places. So all this human labor, instead of working on the canals, ends up working on the pyramids. It's that fucking simple. So if you're going to waste money, you're better off wasting it on a poor man than you are wasting it on a rich man. It's just a simple, practical, fucking goddamn fact. And on top of the fact that we know there's a huge cheat built into the system, okay, that the rich man didn't get there on his own. That just isn't the reality. The majority of the owners did not acquire their ownership on their own. Yes, so till you fix that, you got no fucking argument. This is just fucking bullshit.
The guy who made $100, there's no fucking incentive now to work harder and make more money. Why? Why would he want to? I mean, he's being taken care of by the tax dollars of the guy who made a shit ton more money than him. What does he want to do?
It's just an idiotic argument. Like I said, who the fuck are you talking about? What percentile of what group are you talking about? Because it's a complete bullshit argument.
Want to work harder so he can make $1,000 and then pay for some other poor fucker who doesn't want to work that hard? Why the fuck would somebody want to do that? So yeah, those are essentially how progressive taxes work when combined with the social programs designed to help out the poor.
Yeah, well, whatever. There's nobody living at or below the poverty level who is comfortable. Okay, now I won't say nobody. I'm just saying it's a very minimum of that population is comfortable with their status in the world and are desperately interested in finding a way to get out of that circumstance. And that's the fact.
I disagree with this tax structure. I do. Because it essentially penalizes people for being successful.
You mean it penalizes people for being born to privilege? And you think that people should be born to privilege, they should have a cheat in the race of life, and then they should turn around and laugh and ridicule the people further back in the race who didn't get the cheat. They should ridicule those people and complain that those people are unproductive or a blight, when those people are, in all likelihood, doing more productive work, more productive accomplishment, more productive value to the whole society than the motherfucker with his fucking little pointy finger who hasn't done anything really productive in his whole fucking useless prick life.
And it allows those who aren't willing to work to get by with their minimum, and it doesn't give them an incentive to make more. If all of their basic needs are essentially being met.
It's just silly. Like I say, who lives for their basic needs, whatever that is? I think most people wouldn't be satisfied with the Medicaid health care. I think most people would say, yeah, I don't want to go to the fucking dirty, stinking, smelly clinic with the goddamn doctor who didn't even speak fucking English. This is like he graduated more than 6 days ago. I'm sure most people would probably want a little bit more.
The guy who made more money, it's not his fault. The guy over here didn't make that much. It's not his fault. Why should he be penalized?
It's idiotic to talk about fault. Again, it's a huge goddamn cheat. So you're ignoring the cheat, And then you're also ignoring the practical fact that there is a fault in our economy in the sense that we have not established a rational minimum for what desperation we will take advantage of. So we will oblige a decent human being to compete with some desperate worker from Mexico or some desperate worker in China and say, here, you have to compete in this productivity definition. You have to be more productive than these guys, or we're going to treat you like shit, and we're not going to let you be employed, and we're not going to let you have a fucking life unless you're willing to live lower than them, unless you're willing to bargain lower than them. That's a complete bullshit. There's no natural, rational minimums built into any kind of fucking capitalism. You have to establish those minimums rationally, and if you don't establish them, they won't exist, and you'll have a fucking maggot-infested piece of shit you'll be living in, rather than anything elegant or civilized. Civilization takes work, asshole. You can't just sit back and open your big, fat, smelly mouth.
Now, don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. I think altruism, in a sense, is a good thing. I think if someone who is